everybody a big smile to start the day. Beautiful day. Nice and sunny up here. Cool in Trin City. Mama Lou Garden looking boss. Let me just show you there a little bit. Mama Lou Garden looking real pretty outside there, man. Every plant doing its job. Even this fella here and all. Well, boy, I come out in the porch here to have a little breakfast. Mama Lou's still in bed. But I ain't getting no stress over that. And every morning I have a truck going on the road there, a kiss truck, speeding. Today, Lawrence and Becky, I want to thank all you. I've got my own truck delivery of my own cricks and vital supplies. So brothers, this morning I decide I'm going to be stress-free. Me, I want no kind of stress. Of course, life ain't so easy. We wake up with stress sometimes. We go to bed and we find ourselves not able to sleep properly because we are a little stressed out about something that happened, something that will happen, something we can't prevent, things we handle badly, but nevertheless. Mama Lou? Louisa? I can't get stressed over that, boy. She ain't coming. So I go in and consume while we talk a few Cricks biscuits. You know, since we get a new stove, your boy ain't cooking at all. Yesterday somebody tell me, they say, oh gosh, boy, like you only know to turn the knob, but you ain't going and do nothing more than turn the knob. It's true. It's true. And since Sana has been here, he's been doing a lot of the cooking. Mama Lou does the cooking. When Shanta and Tony were here, they were doing the cooking also. You know, Shanta, you sent me a small video there, and I had to laugh, you know. You sit down at the table here, you're having your meal, you're enjoying the meal, you don't have to dress up. You send me a video from New York, now that you're back in there, and you dress up like a real Eskimo, or you dress up like a bandit. I can't even see your face. You're wearing hoodie. Tony, you're wearing hoodie. Boy, I tell you, we have nothing to complain about in this country, no? You know, there have a couple of people passing here sometimes. Mulchan, Lisa, Francine from the Beatam. Them is happy people, boy. They have plenty here, I'm sure. But I'm sure they have a palace to go home to. I'm sure they have a palace to go into. I take back that. When I say they have plenty, I don't mean they don't have worries. I don't mean they don't have a good home. I mean, the kind of camaraderie I see in these three people, the joy I see in these three people when they walk past and they're always hailing out and asking me how we going, Mama Lou, how you going, Lancy, Papa Lance, how you going. I find it a tremendous thing that, you know, they have plenty of love, they have plenty togetherness, they have plenty joy. Everybody has stress. We have to admit everybody has stress. And they say that stress is the body's way of telling the mind, you know, hey, listen, something ain't right. Work on it before it reach, the area of chronic stress. You know what chronic stresses do? Chronic stress interferes with your emotional well-being. It interferes with your digestive system. You get cranky. Your days are not good. Things like that. But there are ways also, they have advice, ways, those psychologists and those people who attend gyms and whatnot, they tell you that exercise is important. Exercise is important. So you could go out in your garden like Mama Lou and pull a few weeds, cut a few branches, remove some of the dead stuff. There are ways really of trimming down on stress. Don't think that I don't have my stress, you know. I have my own little stress areas. But I'll tell you what I like to do. I like to go to Twin City, the old mall. I walk around, I sit down in the little food court area. Sometimes people greet us. Okay, I met David, Anna, and Cindy from Brazil. And they were so happy to meet us, and I was so happy to be introduced to them along with Mama Lou. And it gave us a joy when we met them. And sometimes, you know, people call and they're happy. A lady called last night. What is her name again? Matty Khan from Tunapuna. Matty, I want to say, if you're looking at this video, I want to say it was a pleasure. A delivery truck on the way down again. I admire all these people who go out early to supermarkets to deliver goods. The fellas coming from the gravel pits, people who are doing taxi work, bus work, people everywhere who have gone to work today to do an honest day's work. I really admire it. There are a lot of stresses along the way in your job, getting to work on a highway, main road. You don't have transport, you walk out from different areas. There are stresses, but they are unavoidable sometimes. So we have to find ways of adjusting our thinking to cope with the daily stress. But to come back to Matty Khan, Matty, I want to say, I couldn't give up myself last time when you called, because things were happening and I... All right, Brendo, so I say, everything good? You looking like me, boy. I dress up in blue too. I say I dress up in blue also. All right, fella. Right, man. Take care. So that's young Brent passing there. Grew up here as a youngster in Lower area, and a very happy outlook he has this morning. So whatever it is, he's on his way to work, but he's cheerful. So Matty, yes, I was a little distressed later on in the night after hanging up with you, because I felt that you called, you took your time, you came from Canada to have a little holiday here, and you know, you talked about wanting to meet us. But because I was kind of under some stress to get a couple of things done, and I had to go out. We had to go out, Mama Lou and I, we had to go out. And therefore, I felt I need to be in touch with you again to erase that short-lived conversation we had. I hope that you could visit us sometime, and that we could really sit down and talk a little bit about your time here in Trinidad before you migrated to Canada. That would be very nice. So this question of stress, really. You know, it brings on great anxieties. You could even get panic attacks. Panic attacks. And panic attacks will come from very, minor incidents, minor distresses, minor things could accelerate into panic attacks. And that would not be good for health. But my coffee getting cold. Excuse me. Hey, this cup comes from Brian and Marlene of Belmont. I want to thank you all. You're an elderly couple, and you visited us, and we were really cheered by your visit. You brought this gift. I thank you very much for it. I want to treasure it. The only stress I'll get is that if somebody takes it and they break it, that would give me a little stress, really. But I value it. Thank you. Mama Lou ain't up yet. If she was up, she probably would have given me. She would have given me an egg or something. Dolly and Janta, the cheese that you brought, somehow the next it moved from one vessel to the next, and here it is now in this container. But it has been in the fridge, so it kind of hard. So I can't cut the cheese. So what I have to do now is dig out the cheese. But you know, I ain't letting that stress me out. I really ain't letting that stress me out. If you're going to let everything that ain't working right stress you out, you're in for a rough day. So, the famous Cricks and cheese. Tony. Tony boy, I understand, huh? You know, a lot of people have to leave home early. And they probably end up by the doubles van. They probably end up buying bacon, bulljoy, bacon smoked herring. So what if I have to eat Cricks? I really wanted to get up earlier to talk to a lady who passes pretty early. I wanted to ask her, how do you handle your stress? But she passed. I wasn't ready for taping. But I wondered if the question would have brought any stress to her that, oh, I really don't want to talk about these things. But surprisingly, she said she will come early in the morning to tell me about stress and how she handles her stress. I'm hoping she will come. Gisha, I know your mom is very ill in hospital. I hope it works for you. You were here. You had to go back to Canada. And it must be very painful to be up there and your mom, your dear mom, is down here. But you have your life to live in Canada. It's where you made your home. And that could produce a sense of stress, or feeling of stress. But we do find little areas that can make us happy in the midst of all things. In the midst of all things. Sometimes we get very pensive about events that have happened, decisions that were made that were poor, family disturbances that have not been entirely resolved. But there are moments when we really can. Okay, for instance, there's a little hummingbird out there. He moves too fast for me to move the camera. But you know, I have a little piece of stress. The bird feeder has been neglected for a couple of days. And Santa has told me that after 3 days, the water with the mixture of the granulated sugar should be changed. One of the things that could produce stress is, I know that bird feeder needs to be cleaned, the water changed, the area cleared of any little insects that might have, like ants getting on, to the bird feeder. I know it. I procrastinate too much. And that produces a form of stress because I have a commitment. And that commitment should be honored. I should definitely, when I'm through with this, get up, go out there, take that bird feeder inside, wash it, and fill it again with fresh water that has been mixed with granulated sugar. It's a joy to watch the hummingbird swoop down and feed. And there's a little bird, like a semp, that also comes and tries. There's a territorial battle going on for that. Another hummingbird will come and they will square off, and I've never seen the feathers so ruffled, and they get on together. Even the animal kingdom has its form of stress. So what would be the hummingbirds, the one who is weak? What will happen? What would he do? That hummingbird will be forced to find a new source if it can't compete with the bigger one. Find a new source of feeding, drinking, being at liberty to approach a bird feeder. Everything has some form of stress, but to resolve it is the big fight there. To resolve it. Some people talk about yoga. You know, yoga. You sit down or you cross your legs. I used to like to do it. I never had been to a yoga class, but you know, you could do things. Maybe I don't have the patience to stay in one position too long. And therefore, being impatient is also something that could produce stress. So we have to really internalize and see, boy, where are we going with this thing? I have to have a new mindset under everything. A new mindset. Louis? I can't get stressed over calling Mama Lou, you know. Mama Lou will get up by 8 o'clock. Mama Lou has this remarkable mechanism. She lies on the bed, oops, into sleep. She wakes up a little bit about 6 o'clock. No, I gotta have some extra. And she just closes her eyes and goes back. That's a great way to deal with stress, because they say sleep insomnia is also part of the stress routine. Stress has a routine, you know. Insomnia, your thoughts are not gathered together to face the day. Anxiety is coming on. So they advise also to take a little walk. Take a walk, face the sun. Getting some vitamin into your body. That's right. Sit upright. Shake off the old feeling, you know what I mean? Wake up. Do something about yourself. Yeah, let our blood pump through, man. Let our blood pump through. Take a walk. Go Cora. Drive through the rainforest. Go down my pool one, see the old pumping station. And if you get there early, before all the, cars gather and the music starts and the noise starts, or even if you get there and these things are happening, walk around, meet people. Families are going there to cook, and everybody has its own little place. Everyone has its place. Nobody's interfering with anybody. You don't have to get into the, to the animated atmosphere of it, but you can seek it quietly. Pool 2 is wonderful. You drive into Pool 2, you park there, there's great facility. You walk down the steps. The steps probably need some real good handrails for elderly folk trying to go down either side. They need to do that. Long ago, we used to do it with bamboo. You sink some bamboo stumps, you cut your joints, and they could just place it along And bamboo is expendable. You could do it. There's lots of bamboo up there. Sometimes they fall into the river. You could see it. But the steps going down to Pool 2 really need some good rails. They need rails. And there's a bin. There's a garbage collection bin that overflows, and it's an indiscriminate dumping at the beginning where the cars could drive in. Something could be done. We have to protect our heritages. We have to protect them. We have to show that we could sell our country. We're not a big tourist country, but we need to preserve what we have. Pool 2 is beautiful. It's the relic, you could say, of a period when they were going to build a dam in Cora back in the 40s. And you could see evidence of the barriers across the river, water flowing. It's beautiful. We met two elderly women up there some time ago. Access to the river should be improved. Railings should be placed. You could use the lumber the timber from an area around. You could use it. You don't have to make no big sort of expense. You just need proper engineering guidance, and you could get it done. There are areas in our country where the elderly folk must be cared for. They do it in the States. So now we have all kinds of scenes that can give us trouble. People talk about home invasions. They're talking now about expectations for the coming elections. Things are whipping up already for coming elections. We're going to have carnival before that, long before that. And there will be anxieties in mass camps about people who are trying to save money to perhaps enter into the carnival frenzy. Stresses are going to be all around. The police will be in stress too. Stress gear. We have these unfortunate incidents taking place. We feel grieved for the families who are bereft of. All right. That gentleman who passed there, when I was having my 75th birthday last June, he passed. He's a newcomer to the area, and he got some good stress. He started to wave to me as he would pass. And when the tent, we had these tents here in the yard, and it was for the birthday occasion. And when he passed, he didn't see me, but he saw the tents, and he went home and he told his wife, they're new to the area, the gentleman seems to have died. And he was grieved. He told me afterwards he was so grieved. He was stressed out to the fact that here's a friend now that he's getting to know, and the man has passed away. So when he saw me afterwards, he said, "Boy, I am so happy that you're still alive." Well, I am sure that Mama Lou and the rest of the family, they're happy that I'm still alive. And I am happy too that I'm still alive to be around here. I love Mama Lou. I want to take care of her as best as God can allow me to. And, but I can't stress out myself over impending death. I can't grieve for myself while I'm still having health. So, keeping off the fast lane is something that we also could eliminate or reduce stress. Keep off the fast lane. Slow down a little bit on how we move through life. Now, we are retirees, so I guess we could apply the brakes easier than a lot who are trying to get up there. I want to just call out a couple names. We got a call from a lady called Lena Thomas from Canada. Lena, this is for you. Hope you have a good day, and thank you for being in touch. we got a call also from, let me see, how should I put this out? Okay. Christian Sabga and his dad, Richard. I want to say to both of you, Dad, Richard, and son, Christian, thank you for reaching out. Thank you. You have said that the channel helps, and we appreciate that. So, others, I had really intended to make a long list of names, and I will have to do it elsewhere. I don't want to carry this video too long, but remember, the sun is shining. The sun is in its fixed place, doing its job. It is shedding its light on everyone, and we feel grateful for God's blessings. I want to finish my breakfast, my cricks, my cheese, my coffee, Brian, Marlene, and of course, my own special delivery from Becky and Lawrence. Thank you very much. I had intended to ask Mr. Sana how he's handling, how do you handle stress? I want to say that Lasana is doing very well. He goes for his walks ever so often. He's looking healthy. He's off the air for a while. I guess he's computing life. So folks who have been inquiring and wondering, Lasana is doing well. He's very happy, he's very helpful, he's able to see his children, and we are glad for all the support and for all the prayer that have gone on for him. So my friends, once again, thank you. Cope with your stress. Don't let it reach to chronic stress. Mama Lou is up, but I don't think she's ready for the camera. She's ready for the camera. She's waving, so I will just pass on the wave to you guys, right?
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning. She's saying good morning, right, Mama Lou?
Yes, ma'am.
If you come here and stand here, you might be able to help me a little bit. I won't put the camera on you because, you know, we don't want to chase away viewers and subscribers. But tell me, if I were to ask you this morning, how do you deal with stress?
I laugh through it.
You laugh through stress?
I laugh through it, man. We all have stress one way or another. Emotionally, financially, domestically, you know, it is said of stress is anything. Stress is anything that you're not coping with. And what might be your stress may not be my stress.
Okay.
Sometimes some people, in your opinion, they are like making a mountain out of a molehill. What is this all about? Why are you so affected? You who looking on, you are thinking, what's the big issue? Why are they, ranting and raving and carrying on about something so trivial? Because to you it's trivial. To you it's a molehill. But to them it's a mountain. And that is because they are facing something that they are not coping. They're not coping.
Okay.
And a lot of times, the reason for not coping for a particular type of stress is because it's brand new to you.
I'm listening.
You never experienced this before. So it's like a big wave that hit you. And, you're struggling to get up after that big wave unexpectedly tumbled you. So now you're trying to rise, but you're being tossed around with the wave. It threw you down, and you're tossing around and fighting up to get to the surface again. So that's when you're not coping. But when you get to the surface, you're able to think clearer. And that is the beginning of coping, you know. Because you don't stay down. You can't afford to stay down when you find yourself in a situation. You will first be taken back, surprised, emotionally affected. You just don't understand what's happening. But you don't stay in that situation forever. And while others can help you by, offering you sympathy and feeling for you, reaching out, a phone call, chatting with you, and so all of that helps, because support system is an excellent thing, especially when one is going through a crisis period in their life. We need support system. One of the things I love to say is no man is an island. And I learned that from a child, because the support system we had when our parents died, our siblings, we all stuck together and work it out. Through thick and thin, we had to survive because we were very young. So from a child, I learned that support system is very important. And throughout my life, I'm now 73, I always turn to others. If I am not feeling just right, I would talk it over with others, trusted friends or family. And it helps. But at the end of the day, you have to help yourself. Doesn't matter how much support you get. People will get tired of you eventually if you're not moving on. And not everybody have money to go to a counselor, because therapy helps with stress. Therapy helps. I mean, there was a taboo long ago. People felt when you went to a psychiatrist, you were mad. But we really hope that we have passed that taboo as an educated country, that we will not have that taboo that going to a psychiatrist is that you are mentally ill. No. Stress can cause people to behave different to who they really are.
Yes, true. And you need to get back on.
You have to get back
on a level plane,
on an even keel. So, I really feel that it's a personal. You have to personally help yourself.
It's a personal challenge.
Yes. And while we can confide in others and talk about it, women have a tendency, unlike men. We talk about the same situation, we could talk about it 10 times for the day. And we talk to 10 different people about the same thing. And tomorrow, we can do the same thing. Men get weary of that. Men get weary of that. Husbands get weary of that I mean, Lance is a very patient man, and he listens to me if I feel distressed about something, and he will listen to me. And tomorrow I'll get up and talk about the same thing again. And he will be polite enough to say, okay, and he listen. But believe it, by the third day, if I come again, he will say, but Louise, I thought you moving on. This story has not changed. Why are you still moping and talking about the same story? Come on, man. Get those cobwebs out of your head.
Yeah, girl.
So,
3 days is the limit. Eh?
3 days is the limit, man.
You hear that, guys? 3 days is the limit.
Yes.
Listen to your wife.
Listen to your wife.
3 days.
But by the third day, have the courage to say, oh, no, not again.
That's again.
Take courage to do that. They could get vexed with you. No, but it's really very important. I will say, if something distresses you, it is very important to talk about it. And the person to best speak to, I would say, your husband should be there for you or your wife. They are the ones that should know what is happening with you. And if something really affected you, and I mean, we are all adults, and we would know if we are affected. And when I say affected, I don't just mean you get vexed, you know. You get vexed and you quarrel and you get out and you cuss. No, we're not talking that.
Right.
That is not mature behavior. I am speaking about more stress. I mean, people have terrible stress, but a lot of stress is daily living. Daily living, decisions to be made, children, to discuss things about what is happening with your kids, sickness. These things are daily occurrence in our lives. So we need to talk about it. If something affecting us, we need to talk. As I say, 3 days is the limit. So, and when we talk about it, we need to listen to the advice that the person is telling us. And if we don't particularly agree, you're not on the same page, you know, you need to say, well, I'm not seeing it from your point of view. This is how I feel. And the person will say, okay, you're being too sensitive. You need to drop that. You don't need to, that is small thing. As the children say, small stuff. So, yeah, if it is, but as I say, we have different types of stress. Stress of illness is a very emotional stress. I mean, I myself can't say that I suffered tremendous illness at my age. 73 years, I'm not an ill person with any chronic illness. Well, of course, I am a borderline diabetic, and
but you cross the border a lot of times. Eh?
but I sometimes have to be reprimanded and reminded, Mommy, you are a diabetic, you know. You shouldn't be having all of that ice cream and all that cake. Not because it's a birthday, you should be eating all of that cake. And, you know, the reprimand that we all who are diabetics, our loved ones, are concerned.
Right. I'm glad you used the term loved ones, because it's love really that moves people to tell you, you know, please take care of yourself, right?
Yes.
It's love, right?
Yeah, it is in love and care that we are reminded you are diabetic. It's not that they want to deprive us or they're being vindictive to rob you of a nice piece of cake with some nice frosting.
Stick to your black cake, okay?
No, don't talk about the black cake. With Lancy. Lancy is he that like if he going out of style. But I hope I'm not straying from the point, Lance.
No, you made your point.
Because
You
I
have
just
made your point.
walked in
Good point.
here.
No. I'm glad you came out because I needed some support in the question of stress and dealing with it and how to have a good day.
Yeah, but in to me, what works for me is if something affects me, I talk about it. And talking about it, as I say, we're not quarreling. We're merely discussing. Something happened. I don't like how you acted. I don't like how you reacted. I don't like how you spoke to me. And the person, your partner or whoever it is, a good friend, family, extended family, we have to be mature enough to listen and to feel what the other person is saying. And not be hasty and say, but you're too sensitive, man. You're too sensitive. I just make a joke with you. No. If it affects the person, then you don't make that joke again.
True.
What is a joke is supposed and intended to make one laugh, not to upset
Not
them.
to laugh at.
Not to be laughed at. And that is something could be creating stress for someone.
Yes, of course.
You
don't have the room to say, hey, listen, let's discuss this. You don't have the room to say it.
Yes.
And therefore you get boxed in with your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, right?
Yes.
So that you really need that gap.
Yes, you need to pour out what you feel. And I'm saying that you yourself as an adult should know, oh gosh, this is being petty, You should know if something is petty, You should know and learn if your husband loves to tease, that he's only teasing you. I mean, things I laugh at, people probably wonder sometimes, why is she
But there's a
laughing?
limit to your teasing too, eh?
There's a limit to your teasing.
Your teasing must not be at the expense of somebody entirely.
Exactly.
A little
crack,
and
a little joke.
Trinis like to make little jokes, right?
Of course, that is our culture. So you say, I remember once, my boss, I teased him, and afterwards I realized that that was disrespectful.
So you apologize?
I laughed.
Anyway, Lou, I think we need to quit contest now. You've been a big help. I am so happy that you came out. I'm sorry that I can't turn the camera on you because, it's early morning. Early morning.
It's still early for me to be up. It's too early to be up. I still have my sleep face.
Very good. And I have to...
But I don't know. I just want to... I don't want to repeat myself.
Right, go ahead.
I don't want to repeat myself. But, after you have cleared the air and discussing how you feel, whatever is troubling you, if it's something that you can speak about, after it has been discussed and you feel comfortable, whether there was an apology or whether there was no need for an apology, if the person, whoever it is, doesn't have to necessarily be your mate, but it could be your brother or your sister or your uncle, your neighbor, or your co-worker. It's relationship is not just limited to family.
True.
And if you just limiting relationship to family, you probably need to extend yourself a little more.
Yes.
Because sometimes a friend is better than a family.
sometimes.
So it is important to have relationship, genuine relationship. And if whatever was stressing you warranted speaking about it, and the person has apologized to you, or they said, well, no, there seemed to have been a misunderstanding somewhere. I really did not mean it in the manner you took it.
Yeah.
Because people misunderstand sometimes. And the person apologized, and you or whatever was spoken seemed to have been agreeable, and you ended up on the same page. You need to close the chapter.
Yes.
You need to put closure.
That's right. Prolonging something is not the answer.
Yeah. And once there's closure, you can move on.
That's right.
When there's no closure, it remains a sore, going around, no curing. You're just putting a plaster in it maybe, but you're not getting the sore healed.
No, nothing.
So
Nothing.
once you are satisfied that this is sorted out, then we can move on. So I think, but I don't know if that only covers emotional stress, because people have different types of stress. Financial stress. How do you deal with your financial stress? Well, everybody now is suffering some kind of, living within a budget.
Yes.
So long ago, people could give more handouts, and somebody in a problem, somebody have a surgery, you put a little something in an
You rally to
envelope,
them, yeah.
and you help. But there are some people now who could have helped. Things are so tight for them, they can't help. So what do I do if I can't get help from who used to help me?
Yeah.
Well, if you're not somebody employed, I would say that there's always little work outside. People could get a job, whether to cut the grass, clean the garden, do some cleaning. Somehow you have to
Well,
to battle with that.
it is a tough. Alternatives are tough, because I'll tell you what. Let's bring it home. You talk about cleaning the yard, right? And if somebody were to come and want to clean your yard and your garden, you may not be so ready to give them that work, because you have a particular way of cleaning your garden,
But that's true.
right? And you have
That
your
is very
particular
true.
way of cutting your lawn.
After I pull out all my weeds,
Yes.
I personally feel when somebody come with a whacker, all the seeds they cut in the next grass coming in my lawn,
So you see,
So you're right.
while we think we have the answer,
Yeah.
it is not always applicable.
But it is to manage. You have to
Yes.
you have to
That's
personally
right.
manage your stress.
Manage it. Yeah.
Nobody can do it for you.
Yes.
You have to personally put yourself to sit down and talk to yourself and say, listen, what is the solution? Find a solution. And if there is no solution, then you just have to, if it's a financial struggle, stress ongoing, I don't know. It's a hard one.
It's a hard word, yes. But anyway, the Lord knows everybody's struggle.
Well, Lance, that is the point that is most important in our life. We have to have trust in God and faith to believe what He has promised. He has said, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Consider the lilies of the field and the birds of the air. Provision is made for them.
Yes.
So, for those of you who believe in God and have faith, God is in control of all things. And at the end of the day, we still have to say, we have to put our lives in the hands of the Lord.
Yes. And while we try to do that, we still have a humanitarian attitude towards people.
Of course.
We must have that humanitarian attitude that
Yeah.
is, you could reach out.
Yeah. And somewhere I read,
You got just a couple seconds left.
right, I think this is crucial. They say make someone happy. And if you make someone happy, you will be happy. And sometimes it doesn't take much to make someone happy. Just a smile doesn't cost
That's
you
right.
anything. When you smile, people smile back with you. You made that person happy.
Yeah.
If you sour and you sorry for that sour word, but if you are so taken up with your own problems and you just glum, you're not going to get a smile from somebody else
Yeah.
if you're waiting for one, because they will think, oh,
So
just
let me
look at
ask
me
you. Let me end with this. You like my smile?
all the time,
Thank you.
and I like your laughter too.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Here
And
with
that is free, eh? A
That-
smile and a laughter to give to someone,
it's free. It's very
especially when it's from your heart. Smile and laugh from your heart. Make it hearty.
Make it happy. Okay, I'll tell you what. You want a cup of coffee?
Thank you.
Okay, go make it.